This episode is part of the ET World Leaders Forum and is brought to you in collaboration with Carelon Global Solutions.
At Carelon Global Solutions, business transformation meets ease of implementation. As one of the fastest growing global capability centers in India, we are simplifying complex operations and making it easier to improve the health of the healthcare system through our diverse teams of experts. Our digital platforms make healthcare processes connected and simple. Discover more about us at www.carelonglobal.in. Carelon Global Solutions, transforming healthcare one step at a time.
India is sitting on the brink of a massive opportunity and challenge. According to a World Economic Forum report, 50% of all employees worldwide will need reskilling by 2025 as automation and digitization take over traditional roles. A 2024 LinkedIn report said L&D, or learning and development, quote-unquote, sits at the center of organizational development. 9 of 10 managers interviewed by LinkedIn for its recent Executive Confidence Index said they plan to either increase or keep steady their investment in L&D, including upskilling and reskilling. 4 of 5 people among hundreds of executives interviewed for the report that I mentioned earlier felt that they wanted to learn more about how to use AI in their profession. Why? Because technology adoption now is rapid. Gen AI went to 100 million users within 2 months of its launch. It's what we call general purpose tech and not technical tech. And so obviously its influence on skilling is massive. And so naturally, McKinsey estimates that generative AI alone could contribute $4.4 trillion to global GDP annually, with 75% of productivity gains concentrated in areas like software development, data analysis, sales, marketing, and customer service. On the other hand, skill gaps still persist, especially in sectors like healthcare, which is a big workforce employer. A 2021 Niti Aayog report revealed that 62% of healthcare workers need digital upskilling to keep pace with technologies like AI, telemedicine, and electronic health records. What's driving this urgency? Well, a global health tech market that's poised to hit $662 billion by 2030. India's stake in this growth depends on creating a future-ready workforce. So, in this special episode, we look at how organizations and industries are responding to this gap and potential. It's Friday, the 22nd of November. I'm your host, Anirban Chaudhary, and this is The Morning Brief. My first guest on this episode is Raghav Gupta, Managing Director, India and Asia Pacific at Coursera, a leading online learning platform. Hi Raghav, very warm welcome to the Morning Brief. So glad you could make time for us.
Wonderful to be here, Anirban. Thank you for having me.
So we are talking about the skills landscape in India. What I'd like to start by asking you is, if you could tell me the 5 ways in which you think the skills landscape in India is changing.
Sure, happy to get started with that. So the first one that we are seeing is low-skill jobs, but also high-skill jobs are seeing either augmentation or automation. And I want to emphasize that it was not just low-skill jobs, which is what we were seeing earlier closer to COVID, but also high-skill jobs. And, this is largely happening because of Gen AI. There are various studies out. One study says 60% of workers will require retraining. And then there's another study from the World Economic Forum where 22% of jobs will also go away because of the impact of automation. The second thing that we are seeing is, given that so much change is happening, public and private sectors are coming together to say, let's mitigate the human cost of AI disruption. And as an example, in Odisha, the Odisha Skills Development Authority is sponsoring a program where upwards of 1 lakh students in colleges are getting to build skills of the future, and Coursera is supporting some of that as well. The third thing is, we are seeing India Inc. is definitely focusing on a skills-first talent strategy. They are saying, yes, degrees continue to be important, but your skill matters quite significantly. We want people, whether they are early career, mid-career, or even seniors, to be building skills, especially in the areas related to data, tech, AI, and also business as well. The fourth one I would call out is we are seeing that industry as an educator has become extremely important. But what's interesting is that companies are creating what is called industry micro credentials, and students who are on campuses are taking those micro credentials, building the job relevant skills, and then regulators like the UGC and the NCVET, the National Council for Vocational Education, are also now saying, look, when you learn from industry, you should get credits for that. And a lot of industry micro credentials, upwards of 10, are now eligible if you're a student in campus to get credit. And then the last one I would say is that future of higher education, the future of skilling is hybrid. There are, in a post-COVID world, a lot of learning that will happen in a face-to-face, live environment, and a lot that will happen in a online asynchronous environment as well. And lifelong learning, which we've all spoken about but possibly not done enough about, is definitely a reality that we are seeing.
Is there an evolution also in the way skills are measured? I mean, what are the tangible ways in which more and more companies are measuring skills, which is different from how they used to earlier?
I would say the biggest shift is just the ability and the focus of measuring skills. Earlier, when companies would run learning and development programs, skilling programs, they would focus on, look, did employees spend hours in learning? Did they complete courses that were, required of them to take? But to be able to actually measure skill development, I'm an analyst, I built the skills to be able to become a data analyst. And then a little bit later, I built the skills to be able to become a data scientist. And if I were to become a data analyst, what are the underlying 6, 7 skills? And how do I rank on them? Am I a beginner or an intermediate level or an advanced level of proficiencies? I don't think this level of maturity was there in terms of skill measurement. Of course, online, this is very doable, and companies are now able to, and they appreciate the ability to do this. And Coursera, of course, enables this to happen for companies.
Talking about generative AI, what are the main demographics driving this demand for Gen AI courses in India? And what are the skills that are most in demand?
Just as context, right? We've seen a massive appetite for skilling on generative AI. It's a technology that has taken the world by storm. It's possibly the technology of our lifetime. Last year in India, we were seeing every 3 minutes somebody was enrolling into a Gen AI course. But this year, we've seen that every minute somebody is enrolling in a Gen AI course on Coursera.
Wow.
And this is actually the highest that has happened globally as well. So the highest enrollments of learners are coming from India, followed by the US. A lot of the learners are in their 30s, which is the median age. Mm-hmm. And what we are seeing is, people are coming to build introductory skills, but also a lot of executives are coming to say, look, how does generative AI impact my business? How do I think about ethics? How do I think about legality, about risk, etc.? And then there are enough studies which say this is a general purpose technology and all of us should be using this technology. There are certain job roles where the skilling can have a bigger impact on productivity. Customer service, customer operations, software engineering, data analysis, sales, marketing, etc. So That's what we are seeing specifically when it comes to generative AI, given just the high demand and the high appetite for skilling in this space.
Absolutely. Something that I found very interesting in your previous answer is that you said the median is 30 and above, which tells me that, people take to this in a big way once they have spent 6-7 years in their career. So this is upskilling, which will help them sort of in career progression. So what is fueling this? Is it just sort of a trend that, AI and makes our life easier, etc.? Or is it a fear that AI will take over jobs? Or are there specific gaps that they find they can fill much easier if they learn what AI has to offer?
I'd say it's a mix of what you described, Anirban, but let me delve a little bit deeper. So, firstly, a lot of the Gen AI adoption is happening by millennials. Almost upwards of 50-55% is happening by millennials. After millennials, we are seeing Gen Z. Almost 30-31% of the skilling is happening with the Gen Zs. And then after that, many senior folks are also very aware that Gen AI is an important technology. We are seeing a lot of companies also sponsoring learning for their employees to build Gen AI related skills as well. This could either be the opportunity that Gen AI is creating for you as a working professional. It could also be FOMO that, look, if I don't get on the bus, then I will miss out. So it's a combination of these factors for sure.
So when did Coursera begin to see the surge in demand for AI courses?
AI related learning has been happening on Coursera for a long time. When Coursera started, and Andrew Ng and Daphne Koller, who are Stanford professors, started Coursera back in 2012, they put a machine learning course online, which saw about 100,000 people take that course. And then over the years, Coursera has built out a lot of good content in data science and AI as well. We've seen upwards of 4 million enrollments happening in all of that content in AI. So, in a sense, while the broader AI skilling is what Coursera started with, Gen AI, as you know, launched with ChatGPT in November 2022. And since then is when we have seen a lot of demand and a lot of enrollments in Gen AI related content. So broadly 2023 and 2024. And, it's really good to see that India is taking the lead globally in terms of the amount of skilling that we are seeing on generative AI.
Got it. And finally, I'd like to understand from you, how is Coursera planning to meet India's growing demand for Gen AI skilling? And are there specific partnerships or programs that are tailored to support India's workforce development?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are doing two broad things. Getting high quality content is super important. So we are working with top universities and companies who are at the forefront of AI to get them to create content which is then available on Coursera. And names like Microsoft, Stanford, Vanderbilt, DeepLearning.ai, Google Cloud, AWS, etc. We are continuing to build more content with them. In India, Fractal Analytics has done content on AI. We're seeing a lot of good output from that.
Right.
The other thing that we're doing is existing content. We are also refreshing it with Gen AI. There's specifically a generative AI academy. If that's what your focus is, then you can come and take introductory content, or you can take very specific to your job role content. You're a software developer. How do you use Gen AI? Or you're a digital marketer. How do you use Gen AI? And then the last thing I would say that we've done is Gen AI. The downside of it is making it very easy for students who are in colleges to cheat on their assignments. And we've strengthened academic integrity. And, we've said, look, let's figure how can we make sure that students are actually learning, that faculty members feel that they're able to run assessments which are cheating proof and so on. So I know I've run through a lot, but that's hopefully a quick summary that is meaningful.
Right. So we've covered a lot. Thank you so much, Raghav, for your thoughts.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anirban. Great to be here.
My second guest is Rajat Puri, President, Carelon Global Solutions. Hi, Rajat. Very warm welcome to the Morning Brief. So glad you could make time for us.
Yeah, sure, Anirban. Happy to be here.
So we are talking about the skills landscape in India. Let's start with a very basic question. What are the most in-demand skills in India's healthcare industry right now?
Yeah, Anirban, that's a great question. I think with the onset of pandemic, a lot of skills have really evolved. On the side of digital, I think what we are seeing in the industry, as well as in healthcare, there are skills like electronic health record, telemedicine, health informatics, automation, a lot of AI work and data science work that's going on. In addition to that, a lot of process-oriented stuff like how can we be more preventive and preemptive in healthcare? How can we have our members take care of their own health in a way like they should? A lot of work on virtual reality. With the pandemic, with the digital transformation that's happening all over the world, we are seeing a great adoption of these technologies as well.
All right. So let's talk about Carelon now. How is Carelon Global Solutions ensuring a future-ready workforce? Can you take our listeners through, maybe some of your initiatives?
Yeah, absolutely. Carelon Global Solutions, when we first started in 2017, we have really involved how do we actually look at our talent and upskill them and make sure that they're relevant in the ever-changing digital transformation journey that the industry is going through. So we have something by the name of Skillsoft, which is very comprehensive inventory tool to capture all the skill sets that an associate would have. They bring a lot of skills when they join us, But at the same time, we also have them take more skills and train them in latest technologies. So that software, that technology that we have implemented for all our 18,000 people really helps us to gauge where they are right now, what they need to do to enhance their capability, and also to be ready for future jobs that can help them and our company move forward. We offer 18,000 courses through our industry partners and our internal offerings. We have a skill index that we match to their proficiency levels. We also offer internship and learning opportunities for young talent and diverse communities to create an equitable workplace. What I mean by that is we have collaborated with NGOs to identify and train individuals from low income backgrounds. This partnership really helps us in reaching out to underserved communities and providing them with the necessary skills and resources to enhance their employability with us and for future employers. We also launched Project Gurukul, which is nothing but empowering our people managers with relevant behavioral and technical skills that can make them very effective managers in their own careers.
Right. So, 2 points here. One is it's a universal truth these days that India is a huge tech talent pool for the world. But it's also true that all of these skills are very rapidly being replicated. The answer to that sort of conundrum is constant innovation, right? So, can you take us through what Carelon Global Solutions is doing and how is it evolving to being an innovation hub?
Yeah, I think again a great question. I think a lot of the skills, if you think about it, can be replicated to your point. We also do a lot of stuff like in terms of making sure that it's replicatable as well. It helps us, it helps other players in the industry. But for what I think what CGS or Caron Global Solutions does really well is to also give a lot of subject matter expertise or semi domain knowledge in addition to the technical knowledge that we can give to our associates. That is something that we have done really well, partnering with our global parent. We actually have a lot of in-house courses for healthcare industry, which is very unique but also can be also used for other healthcare purposes as well. There's a great bit of collaboration that's happening in the industry, and CGS is in forefront with academia. We partner with a lot of prestigious colleges within India who can also help us really minimize that gap, both on the technical as well as SME knowledge. And institutes like ISB, IIT, and all of that, I mean, they have been really playing a very pivotal role in helping us bridge that gap. The only additional thing I would say, Anirban, is we also partner a lot with our startup community in both Bangalore and Hyderabad. They come to us. We also help them mature their products through us. But at the same time, we also leverage their talent and help us get to our next steps in our talent journey for our associates.
Got it. You said that you sort of help them improve their products and their offerings.
Yep.
And for that, I think mentorship is very important. How do these mentorship programs run by organizations such as yourself nurture talent? And are we seeing enough mentorship programs across companies in the country and especially in the healthcare industry or the health tech industry? Or do you think there have to be many more?
Yeah, to be very candid, I feel that we all can do more. I think there's a lot of work that's happening on the mentorship front, but I also know that as industry leaders, we have a very crucial role in providing more mentorship to our associates.
Also, on that, what about digital learning programs? How are they addressing skill gaps across the globe? And of course, for Carelon as well.
It's very interesting. I think all these digital programs and platforms that are available to us and to the employees actually are providing a lot of value. I would say a couple of things. Accessibility and flexibility of using these digital platforms has really changed the way how people are taking leverage of that. Affordability. I think so many things that are happening in the industry and they're becoming more and more affordable is also very important. And we are seeing that content that now can be updated real time using digital learning platforms is immense. We can personalize those learning and then how can we use that to collaborate within the industry but across the industry. So I think those are very important points in my opinion.
And now on to the biggest buzzword right now in not just the tech world, but across all MNCs and global companies that are setting up shop in India and of course elsewhere as well. I'm talking about Global Capability Centers, of course, or GCCs. In your opinion, what roles do GCCs play in developing special skills in India?
Yeah, I'm very excited about the possibility of what can be done through GCCs for our talent in India and other places. I'm very excited about the technologies that are coming through our partnerships with academia, with startups, with digital platforms. And I feel that sky is the limit. I think GCCs have a very, very important role, but also a responsibility to really do a lot of work in developing the talent through innovation, through research, and also since GCCs have a great lever to approach their global parent companies, take that knowledge and really disseminate in India and other locations, it's incumbent on all of the GCCs to leverage that and really transfer that knowledge to the local markets. And also, I would say, last but not the least, our exposure to the mature technologies that we have within GCC, I think it's really, really huge. And we can, do a lot by really training our associates in those technologies that we all know our parent companies are actually using in US or other places.
Wonderful, Raja. Thank you so much for being part of the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure, anyone.
That's it for today. This episode was produced by Neil Ghai and sound designed by Rajas Naik. The Morning Brief drops every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on a listening platform of your choice. Thank you and have a good weekend.